Hey guys, so today I'm finally ready to give a full tour of my camper build that I did on my Ford Maverick. As you know, it's a short bed, and I had to design something to allow me to sleep in the back of the bed. So we're going to take a look at that today. It's a bit of a prototype type design, but I think it's good enough to go as it is. So let's take a look. All right, first of all, I have this hard to no cover on my Maverick truck right now, and that's going to be important because that is actually going to be the rooftop on my camper. And I put these rails right here. They're these closet rail things that I got at the Home Depot, but I'm going to use it to clamp on um, that tonneau cover as my roof. So that's going to make it very convenient for me because one, this thing is going to be much lighter without a roof because I'm going to be lifting it up and putting it on that. Okay, so I store this in the garage, and what I need to do is to put it on some wheels and wheel it over to my truck. And now I'm going to wheel it over. All right, and it's in. Let me show you something. All right, I pulled this out a little bit so that you could see there's a bar right here. And the reason why I have that was it just kind of slides in. I don't clamp it. So when I'm on the freeway, the wind kind of makes it tilt a little bit. But that little bar rests up underneath this lip right here, and that prevents it from lifting up. All right, so now I need to get the top up on that. All right, so that's the way it looks. I haven't clamped it down yet. I'll show you how it clamps on later, but that's the way it looks on the top. And by design, I made a little bit of a lip there just so that water wouldn't seep in. But I never camp in the rain, so water shouldn't be an issue. Okay, so here inside, just like the truck rail, I made this thing where you could just clamp onto the rail and tighten it up. Pretty easy. Same thing to this side. These middle clamps are a little bit easier. I have them on the truck setting right now, so I have to tighten it up for the camper setting. Just go like that. All right, so everything's in nice and secure. Let's take a look at the camper now. And of course, because it's a trifold top, it is a big sunroof also. If you want to open up the sunroof, you could have plenty of sunshine while you're camping in your tiny camper. All right, so that's the way it's going to look while I'm traveling. Everything's going to be closed up nice and tight, and everything will be compact. And that was the idea of the design, that it would be nice and compact. I didn't want a big old thing sticking out. So open it up, and the first thing you want to do is pull out this extension, and that is going to be my bed area. This is the way the extension looks. So let's go in. All right, so when you come in, you'll see there's a countertop here and there's a space for storage there, and I'll show you what I have there. But there's this mattress here that will open up and extend into my bed. So let's do that. Let's take a look at it. And hopefully I have the camera angles on right, because I can't see. But here it is coming in here. All right, so to go to sleep, you can just lay down and then you're all set. This is a 6-foot mattress, and let me show you how much room is still left. So there's still a little bit of room. If you're a little bit taller, you can have a little bit of room. There's insulation here on the walls. Here, there's insulation here too, but I covered it up with this, wallpaper just to make it a little bit prettier. It's not a lot prettier, but it's a little bit prettier. I got this little RV window. So over here, I have some marine windows. Open up like that. It's you can see the seals. It's watertight. So that's nice when you want a little bit of fresh air. But here, I have an escape latch. I haven't put a lock on it yet, but it's a big window, so it absolutely had to. You can squeeze your way out. But I don't recommend going out that way if you don't absolutely have to. What it really is an easy way for me to open from the outside and throw stuff into the camper, because once the tailgate is closed, I can't access anything. I can't access the door. It won't open. So the easy way for me to throw gear inside is through this window. And of course, it opens up on the outside. Over here, I got an RV door handle that I have right there. And it locks like that. I have another one of those windows. On the door, I have another one of those RV windows. Opens up like that. Actually gets pretty darn good ventilation when you have all the windows open. Locks like that. On this side, another RV window, and with the mesh. So this one, you can leave open and the bugs can't get in. So here I have this countertop, and I put the shelf underneath here. The shelf underneath here for a purpose is because I wanted to make a cabinet here, but I didn't want the extra weight of the cabinet, so I wanted to make everything removable. So let me show you. This is the weight of the RV. There's nothing else. Everything else I bring in and out. So let me show you the cabinet storage space that I have for this spot. Okay, so for that cabinet, I have these collapsible things. I have these collapsible storage bins, and they're like this. And I wanted to make it so that I could bring it in and out really easy. And this doubles as a camping table when I want to take it out as a camping table. So let's put it in. And it goes in like that. And let me show you the reason why it's not on the ground. Because when I come in, I wanted to have this space for my feet. If I put it on the ground, I'd be crunched up and I can't get, this would be very uncomfortable. But now it's actually quite comfortable for me to cook and do whatever I need to do here. Even work on the laptop if you want to do that. But you can see the space is pretty open. There's not a lot to show. It's just a little camper bed. But underneath here, I do have some storage. All right, so let's take a look underneath here. Let me open up the bed. We can open up like that, but I have this storage area right there. And of course, there's some storage underneath here that you could shove things underneath. And the way that the pullout is designed, if you put anything under here, it will not get in the way of the pullout because the pullout is all above it right here on this part right here. So I know if it fits under here, it won't get in the way of the pullout. So let me show you what I keep in there for the most part. All right, so here I have that storage, like I said, and what to do is I have a 600-watt power source right there that fits perfectly flush, so I could open up the bed, have all my gear underneath, and it's out of the way. Since there's not a lot of room in here, as you can see, you need the space to move around. So, you know, in a very small truck bed, with this camper design that I have, I'm actually able to move around quite a bit. And there's quite a bit of room, you know. I lay down fully, of course. I can sit up and relax, open up some windows, and have plenty of space. And again, the Ford Maverick truck bed is 4.5 feet. So if you make this extension, you could actually lay down in it. Without it, it'd be very difficult without, you know, crawling up in fetal position or something like that. But, you know, this is for, you know, a light outfit. You know, you can't put too much stuff back here. I guess you could if you want. But for the most part, you know, you can still be very comfortable laying down and you can have a good night's sleep. So, you know, this is in the open position with everything open. And I know what you're thinking. Well, can you actually use it when everything's closed? And yes, you can. So let's give it a shot. All right, so I have these hinges here that kind of go up and they slide in like that. And as I mentioned before, everything is up on up over those rails. Let me pull it out a little bit for you to see. Okay, see, so these rails slide into these slats right there, and you can see the slats open up in the back. So when I pull it out, it rests on these slats right here. Underneath, it's all empty, and there's a bar that holds the slats there. So again, whatever I put storage down there, it's going to be no problem. Nothing's going to get in the way. All right. So I'm holding the door open with this. So let's go in and take a look at it. All right. Let's go in and you can see I have this angle right here, and this angle is very important because, move this bed, because it's going to allow me to come in here and sit down like that. And yes, I could open up this mat in this position, which is a backrest. My feet are fully extended position, and I have a nice backrest. I'll show you my feet. So you can see my feet are fully extended. There's plenty of room for me to stretch out and relax a little bit in here. If I don't want to pull everything out, I could definitely just sit here and relax a little bit. I could get in and out. And again, there's still a decent amount of space with the windows and the ventilation. It's not that claustrophobic. And again, with this bottom, because I cut out that bottom for my feet, there's room for me to slide in and out. And I could cook in here with everything closed. And I guess I could crawl up in the fetal position and sleep there too. I've actually never tried it, so let's see. Well, nah, you can't. It's too hard. So forget I said anything about that. But you can sit back and relax. You could cook a meal in here too, no problem. Okay, so in this closed position, I can show you how I could store my solar panel for my power source. And I could store it right here in this slot. So when I'm traveling, it actually stores really nice, like right there. You can see it slides in that slot. There's my solar panel. So just by dumb luck, not by design, I just saw an opportunity to store the solar panels there. It's nice and out of the way. And of course, I could store it here too. and it's quite a bit of room for gear. So let's take a look at the solar panel up top, and then we'll look at getting gear inside and out. All right, so when I'm in camping mode, of course, I have these panels. Just open them up, and then up here, these solar panels are 100 watts. They'll provide me with whatever power I need. I'm not doing too much stuff. I'm not using a microwave or anything like that like I do in my other camper. And when I'm done, folds away, and you saw where I store it. All right, so coming up here in my gear door, you can see, open it up, just throw your stuff in there. Doesn't have to be clean, just throw it in, close up, and you don't have to open up your tailgate. So that's really important, because if I had to come back and open up my tailgate every time I wanted to get stuff in and out, that would be quite a pain. It goes like that. You would have to put gear by opening this up, opening this door and throwing stuff in. And you know, the bigger items, you still probably want to do that, but if you're just getting something or throwing something in, that's the place to do it. So that's a look at my Ford Maverick custom camper. The outside, what I did was, this is polywall. It's not the most refined thing, and it does bend a little bit, which I don't like, but it's actually not too bad. This is waterproof paint, and I painted outside the lines just like I did as a kid. Got some hinges, piano hinges here for that door. And again, polywall. It should be waterproof. I don't know how UV proof it is, but it should be plenty waterproof. All right. That's my Ford custom micro camper shell.